Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another tutorial. In this lesson we're continuing on with the GUI in our pause script, but I'm going to change this line first in the void update where we said input get button down pause, and I created a pause button just for testing. But now we're going to create some buttons in our GUI, and I want to change this back to cancel, which is escape, because the escape button works better with these lines of code here and here, where we alter the visibility and lock state. So I'm going to come back to Unity, edit, project settings, input, and there's the pause button I created. We'll just delete that by downsizing the size here by 1. And we'll come to cancel, we'll make sure it's set as escape in the positive button, and we'll copy this naming convention. This also helps because it stops this becoming too convoluted, because we will have to create more buttons as we go along in the series. So any unnecessary ones we can get rid of, now's a good time to do it. And we'll just paste that in there, and that's why I put the cancel button in the comments. I'd always intended to come back and change this, so there we go. Now that's in place, we can get on and create the buttons for our GUI. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it, when it pauses, there will be 2 buttons about here. One that will return us to the main menu and one that will quit the game. So let's create those now, and I'll come here and we'll say if open brackets GUI dot button open brackets new rect, and we'll open brackets again, and we can actually copy this code here where we set the screen width by half and the minus the pause button width by half as well. So that's its position on screen in terms of the width. For the height, I'm going to say screen.height, and I'm going to use divide by 1.35f. I've done a little bit of experimenting. This is roughly where I want it, but as always, I encourage you to experiment with this value yourself until you find something that you're happy with. Comma and a space. So we have our button, we have the position on screen, the width and the height, and now we just need to say how big the button needs to be, which we can do quite simply because we've already created it. The pause button width, comma, by the pause button height. And again, you may want to change these values here. By all means, as I always say, keep experimenting, and we'll close brackets, comma, and then speech marks, and we're going to say main menu, close speech marks, close brackets twice, and then we're going to open and close, and we'll come inside there. So if we press that button, well, we need to get component, open and close brackets of type audio source. We've done this many times. We'll come to the end here, open and close brackets again, dot, and this time we can use the play one shot. So we'll open brackets again, and then what do we want to play? The return to main menu audio, and we'll close brackets there. We'll close the line off and we'll come below, and then we'll say scene manager dot load scene, open and close brackets, close the line off, and we're going to say 0. And if I save that off there and I'll downsize mono develop, I hope you can remember very early on in the series we added the scenes to the build settings, file build settings here, and the 0 represents 0 here, which equals our main menu. If you haven't done this, just open each scene and then add open scenes one at a time, and then just drag and drop them until they're in the correct order with main menu at the top. I'll close that there and we'll come back here, and we can actually copy all this block. Remember to copy the last close bracket here, and then we'll paste it in below. Now we don't have to change a great deal. We'll come here to screen height, and I'm going to change that to just 1.25f, and then we need to change what it says, which in this case will be quit, and the quick game audio naming convention we'll paste in here, and for this line we'll just change this to application.quit, open and close brackets, close the line off, and we'll just save that off there for the moment. Now I should state at this point, you may say, well, if I click this button, especially the quit button, on most games you will have a box that comes up saying, are you sure you want to quit, yes or no? That's very easy to do, and we'll do that at a later date, but I just want to get the basic functionality in place, and then we can add little touches like that once all the basic is done and dusted. So let's go and test this out now. So yep, we'll make sure we've saved, we'll downsize mono develop, and what we need to do is come to the game manager and make sure that you've added an audio source. Get component audio source, otherwise this will not work. So we're going to have a problem with the main menu, but we're also going to fix it in this video. But let me just show you the problem first. We'll start the game up, we'll pause. So now we're paused, we have our buttons, and we'll hit main menu. Now we come to the main menu, but if I hit start, nothing happens. Now this is quite an easy fix. Let me just stop that there, and we'll alter the main menu script. So we'll just make this full screen, and we'll come back to the pause script to begin with, and all we need are these two lines from the void game not paused, where we set the timescale to 1 and the audio listener volume to 1. And this is what the problem that's occurring. The timescale and the volume is still at 0. So an easy way to fix this is come and we'll just call it once in the void start there. So into void start in the main menu script, timescale equals 1, and the same with the audio listener. And let's save that off, and we'll downsize for now, and we'll hit play again, and we'll see if that's actually fixed. So please bear in mind, as always, we cannot test the quit button until we've actually done a build, you know, here. It won't work inside the editor, but we can test the main menu to make sure everything else is working properly. So if we hit main menu now, and as we can see, we can hear that the audio's now working. Let's hit start, and the game should load up, and there we go. So everything's now working. Let's just stop that there. So as I said, we've got the basic functionality in place. There's a few other little things we need to do in these two functions, and then we'll continue on and we'll create other features within this script. But as I said, just for the pause at the moment, we still need some code in these two functions, and then we'll proceed onwards. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you next time, and as always, bye for now.